Before the American settlers started moving west, it's estimated that around 60 million bison once roamed North America. Massive herds numbering in the thousands, visible as far as the eye could see, were found all across the prairie. But with the American settlers, and eventually the railroad, came a time of change for the North American bison. While the Plains Indians hunted the bison as part of their subsistence, commercial hunters shot bison for the hides and tongues, often leaving the carcasses to rot. Equally as devastating was the U.S. government's policy to force Native Americans onto reservations by depriving them of their nomadic lifestyle. The U.S. Army dispatched sharpshooters to kill entire herds. And if that wasn't enough, as the settlers moved west, they brought with them cattle and disease that further decimated the bison populations across North America. Yeah, like I said, hopefully they've got brown bear tags here. Sportsman's Warehouse, don't let me down. I always like to stop at the wall, see what everybody else has taken and shared. You do? And now you're going to be on TV. Believe it or not, we went to Cabela's and they don't have any grizzly tags.
I do have grizzly tags.
You do have grizzly tags?
Yes, I do.
Is that all you need?
Yes.
Outstanding.
That's all I need. Let me go grab the stuff.
Thanks. All right, mission accomplished here. On to the airport. Now we have to hope that we don't get a repeat of last year's little incident at the Penn Air counter. We didn't bring 16 bags this time. Now we have 13 bags. Pulling up the Penn Air gate. Now we gotta hustle. Not because we're in a hurry, but because we have a lot of bags. And they're not gonna be happy to see us. Okay.
Before Steve and his camera crew ever get into the field, one of the greatest challenges associated with their adventures is the fact that they travel with so much camera equipment and hunting gear, and on flights that require small aircraft and limited cargo capacity. This creates problems.
The plane's only about half full today, so we shouldn't have any problems getting all of our bags out there. Never any guarantees, but things are looking fairly positive this time. There you go. Have a good day, thanks.
All exits are marked as right-of-way exit signs. There is chocolate along the floor, which will illuminate in case of emergency. Please take a moment to locate your nearest exit and familiarize yourself with its operation.
The plane leaves Anchorage in 2 hours southwest and arrives in Sandpoint, Alaska, a small community on Popoff Island in the Shumagin Islands just off the coast of the Alaskan Peninsula.
We've landed here in Sandpoint. This is where it'll all really begin for us. Now we just got to find out where our pilots are at and when they're going to come pick us up.
After arriving in Sandpoint, the first order of business is to get some scouting done. The plan is for local outfitters Jeremy Davis and Steve Hakala to take guide Wayne Gunderson up for a flight around the island. This will give Wayne an idea of where to start looking the next day.
This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Super Hides by Marathon Seat Covers. This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Caldwell Shooting Supplies. Innovation defined, accuracy anywhere. We're waiting for Wayne to get here. We're going to take a boat around the outside of the island. He knows all the good spots to get up on top and glass and look for the bison. They have traditional spots they like to hang out on the island. Just a matter of going out and finding the big bulls, preferably all by themselves so we can stalk them, get within muzzleloader range. But this is about the time I expected the adventure to finally get started. While there may have been as many as 60 million bison in North America in 1800, by 1900, it is possible that fewer than 1,000 animals roamed the American West. Theodore Roosevelt and William T. Hornady, along with other Boone and Crockett Club members, founded the American Bison Society in 1905. Its purpose was restoration of bison numbers through land acquisition and reintroductions. The American Bison Society's first major success came on May 23, 1908, when Congress enacted a bill establishing the 20,000-acre National Bison Range near the Flathead Indian Reservation north of Missoula, Montana. I wanted to do a bison hunt for a long time, but I didn't want to go to Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota, someplace and do a hunt on a private ranch where I could drive around in a four-wheel drive pickup truck. It just wasn't going to be adventurous enough for me. You know, there's nothing wrong with those hunts and nothing against those hunts, but I just really want to have a more adventurous trip. We flew into Sandpoint, Alaska. It's on the Shumagin Islands, on the western side of the Alaskan Peninsula. And the Shumagin Corporation actually owns the land here. And the bison herd that resides on these islands, or on this particular island, is actually a private herd. These bison are managed for long-term sustainability. They have an annual hunt for the residents, and this will actually be the very first non-resident hunt to take place on the island.
After the previous day's aerial scouting, guide Wayne Gunderson knew where to start the hunt. The plan was to leave the bay at Sandpoint on the western side of the island and take the boat all the way around to the far eastern side of the island where they'd seen several bison from the air the day before.
This is big ocean out here. We're not that far from where they filmed Deadliest Catch. Coast Guard, you know, they film all of those big rescues out here in this ocean. This is big water. This is big wild Alaska out here, not just on land, but out at sea. And what happens if we run into problems out there? I've always got that thought in the back of my mind. This is Alaska, big, wild, and free. There's a lot of dangers that are out here. Looks like we're gonna get in the skiff. We're gonna take Tom Mangold over and see if we can't find a big bull bison for him back in this bay. There's two down at the bottom. So just drop one in to the, hold one down, drop one in, slide it forward. Joining me in Alaska is Tom Mangold, one of my personal clients. He shares a love of adventure hunting, and he wanted to do a bison hunt in one of the most wild and free places on earth.
You know, where we went, Sandpoint, Alaska, it was on the Aleutians, which is very remote, and that's part of the deal too. Go to a remote area, hunt an animal that you've never hunted before in a place that's totally free range. There's no fences. You know, what I saw there at Sandpoint, besides the town, there's no roads.
After anchoring the big boat in the bay and taking the skiff to shore, it doesn't take long for Wayne to locate a herd of bison.
This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Burris Optics. Find what matters. This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Tribe One Outdoors and their innovative products. The American Bison Society focused on establishing new herds through reintroduction to traditional bison range, while the government's effort was to protect the few remaining bison in Yellowstone National Park. In 1902, a fenced buffalo ranch was established within the park and stocked with captured animals from Yellowstone and other areas. By 1915, there were 239 bison inside Yellowstone Park, up from just 46 when the program was initiated, and this was enough to ensure safety from inbreeding.
After taking the boat around to the far side of the island, guide Wayne Gunderson has located a herd of bison, and the hunters are looking the herd over to find a mature bull.
This little crevice kind of in the hill. We took a peek up there and there's a bunch of bison. Looks like a couple of good ones. Steve's gonna pull out the spotter, take a real good look at them and see what's all up there for sure. Then we're gonna make our move, keep the wind in our advantage and try to slip in within range.
I guess we're gonna just shoot this animal from the beach. He's gonna just go to the top of this hill and set up right there and take out a freight train, and then the work begins.
You know, when you're hunting an island that has no natural predators for these bison, and we're the first hunters of the year to go after them, they're not looking down, they're not wary, they're not worried, so we can take our time and really look them over good.
It didn't take long for us to find a herd of bison feeding about 400 yards off the beach and up on a grassy hillside. So I broke out the spotting scope, the iPhone and phone scope adapter so that we could take a closer look.
That's a good one right there. If you put the crosshair on the top, let's say it turns out to be 250 yards, you're still gonna schwack it. So, but yeah, let's do it. I'd say let's do it. Yeah, let's make a move for the east. He's the top one, the back top right.
Okay, so the top right.
Yeah, top right. I'd turn it at about 300. You see the crosshairs I'm talking about? Okay. Yeah, he's the highest one. Count to 10 and let him rip.
Tom was calm, cool, and he made his shots count.
Whenever you're ready. Got him. Chamber another. He's highest and left. High and left. He's the one. That one got him. Ooh. Good job, buddy. All right. Yes. Boy, the gunfire sure stirred up the birds. We got eagles and seagulls everywhere. Tom hit him twice with the 338, right boom, boom, man. The Bergara custom rifles are super accurate. You put a good scope on them, like the burst veracity. We had a 300-yard crosshair, boom, boom, both bullets right in the vitals. He's done. I'll tell you what, that was awesome. Good shooting. Good shooting. Let's go up and find him. They weren't right here. I think that first one bubbled the lungs. I don't think he's moving. See a hoof in the air. He's gonna get pressure.
This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by CVA muzzleloaders. It's just a better gun. This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Camo Restore. Make your camo outerwear last a little bit longer.
Woo! Good job, buddy. All right. Yes.
After the shots, we had seen several bison run up and over the hill. But it wasn't until we got up to the down bull that we had a chance to actually see the rest of the herd on an open mountainside as they headed for safety. It was amazing to see how many bison had been so close to us and yet stayed so completely undetected.
This is the most adventurous way possible to probably come out and hunt for one of North America's bison. The scenery was amazing. It just beats going out in a pickup or on an ATV and chasing one down on a private ranch. You know, the meat from this bison is going to go back to town and be distributed to some of the town elders. Of course, the trophy and a limited amount of meat will go home with Tom. It's just been an awesome day.
What amazed me when I got one on the ground is they were so beautiful. I've never been that close to one, of course, and they were just amazingly beautiful, you know, with that big black head and the beard, and I mean, wow.
After Tom shot his bison, the rest of the crew made their way up to the downed bull and butchered the animal. Several trips were made off the hill and down to the beach with hundreds of pounds of meat loaded into the skiff. Testament to the fact that trophy hunting and subsistence hunting can and do go hand in hand.
Well, we got one down, and a couple more to go. When you get a bison down there, it's a lot of work. No doubt about it. You can grab a little snack, drink a little water, eat some of the best jerky in the world, and get back out there and get after it.
In 1933, a national census conducted by the Bureau of Biological Survey estimated the national bison population in wild herds, zoos, and private collections at 22,000 animals. Today, there are 25,000 bison in public herds across the country, and another 16,000 roam Canada's 11 million acre Wood Buffalo National Park. Successful reintroduction of 130 wood bison to Alaska's Anoka Flats near the Yukon River, as well as over 100,000 bison in private herds.
If you want a really adventure hunt, just like what you always talk about on your TV shows. You know, there's no more adventure than what we did as far as bison hunting, I don't believe. You just got to try it. You got to go there.
When I was given my choices of places I could go hunt for a bison, I wanted to find something that was truly adventurous. I don't want to hunt semi-tame ranch buffalo. That's for some people, but it's not for me. I wanted to hunt wild, free-roaming, massive bison. And there was no place that I could think of that would be any more wild and free than Alaska.
After spending the rest of the day going around the island and not spotting any more bison within a reasonable distance before dark, the boat heads back to Sandpoint so they can care for the meat they already have and prepare for the next day.
I mean, look at this landscape behind me. This is the epitome of the adventure series. I wanted to go someplace that would be an adventure, and that's why we're here. And I can hardly wait to get out there and start hunting. Awesome, successful day. Went out, Tom got his bison. And we come in, get some supper. Look forward to tomorrow. This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Bergara Rifles. Our barrels make the difference. This segment of the Adventure Series is brought to you by Cordova Coolers, a cooler innovation. While it's not realistic to ever see millions of bison roaming across the vast, unbroken prairie that no longer exists, the recovery of bison populations from fewer than 1,000 animals to far more than 100,000 bison today is a conservation success story that can only be credited to Theodore Roosevelt and the other conservationist members of the Boone and Crockett Club who started this amazing recovery effort.
As a new day dawns, Steve and his crew head back down to the boat to begin their long steam out to the hunting area on the other side of the island.
Keep it up. Keep it up.
Yesterday the weather was just too bad. Windy, raining, miserable. So we sat in, nothing we could do. Today the weather's cooperating. I woke up with a miserable sinus infection. Took some pharmaceuticals. We're gonna head back out around the island, look for these buffalo. Yesterday I really felt like quitting, going home. It was my goal to take an Alaskan bison using my muzzleloader. In this saltwater environment that can quickly rust and ruin a gun, I chose the CV8 Acura V2 with nitride finish, and I topped the gun with the Burris Eliminator laser scope. Paired up with 150 grains of IMR White Hot pellets, I was confident that we could get the job done, if we could get within range. Horrible swell today. It'll make getting on the beach interesting if we spot some bison. It's cold today. Coldest day yet. We spot some buffalo up here on top of the mountain, kind of the ocean outside. We gotta climb this hill, go around the face, backside of that mountain. Hopefully we'll find a big old bull buffalo back there.
Following the bad weather from the day before, a large rolling surf was smashing the shorelines on the outside of the beaches. The hunters were limited to looking inside the protected coves and bays where they could safely land the skiff. And shortly after arriving on the far side of the island, their guide spots a lone bull, way up on the side of a mountain, and a decision is made.
I wanna rock and roll all night.
Kind of staying in the cab all day trying to stay out of the cold air so I'd be ready to go when it happened. Looks like it's time to happen. Show to that one rock, it's a doozy. Got rid of the doozy. This island comes out of the sea and goes straight up. We knew that we had to climb the grassy ridge to the top, and then we would start glassing for the bull. That first climb up from the boat, it's a doozy. Stretching legs out for the first time. For any of you who wonder why there's so many of us coming up here on the mountain, it's because the bison are so big. You gotta bring all your meat packers with you on the first take. Hike up, packers stay behind a little bit, hunters move in, get the bison shot, hopefully. And then the crew moves in to help butcher and pack. We got it.
I thought he was on the backside. It's either here or here. I don't know.
So he might be right below.
He might be down there.
Turn my scope down. I had Jack carrying my trusted Bergara custom rifle, just in case the bull was out of muzzleloader range. This buffalo's right here in the bottom. I'm gonna drop in. I'm gonna get past him a little bit so the wind blows by him. I'm gonna work into the cut. He's stepping right. Come on. That's big. Come on, buddy, turn. This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Camo Restore. Make your camo outerwear last a little bit longer. Can you believe that? He never stopped. He never stopped. I'm actually glad that bull didn't stop and give me a shot, because if he had, I would have failed to take him with my muzzleloader. And because I'm an aggressive hunter, we gave chase. Hot on his trail, across the mountainsides of this remote Alaskan island, and now more determined than ever. Yeah, let's go here, over. Once we get there, let's peek over, see what we see. If he's long gone and there's no others, we'll work our way down to the beach. That's all we can do.
After almost getting a shot at a massive Alaskan bison, Steve and his crew are in pursuit of an old bull. With time running out in their day, they're hoping for one last shot.
This is goat country. We're literally hunting bison on the side of a mountain. These are tough animals. There's a big bull right down here in the bottom all by himself, right next to the creek in the back of the bay. Couldn't be a better setup. We got the wind in our face.
These bison are hardly tame. They're wild, free-roaming animals, aware of their predators. If Steve doesn't watch his wind direction and stay out of sight, this old bull will take off and disappear into the thick cover of the alders and end Steve's hunt before he ever gets within muzzleloader range.
But we got to go, man. We're running out of clock. Yeah, watch your footing going down. This is going to be a booger.
This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Super Hides by Marathon Seat Covers. This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Caldwell Shooting Supplies. Innovation defined, accuracy anywhere.
It's starting to rain pretty good right now. We're trying to put the closing distance on this thing. We're covering up everything. We're shooting pretty minimal right now. But we're on a last-ditch effort here. It's the last day, last light. It's starting to rain really hard. We got a great bull right down here, right where this river comes in and feeds the bay. Easy in, easy out. We gotta get down here.
With a big bison spotted on the last night of his hunt, Steve, Jack, and his camera crew are making their last-ditch effort to get a shot at the bull before darkness sets in, ending Steve's hunt.
See him? I don't see him right now. I think he's just right in that creek bottom. Like we lost our elevation, so we can't look down in on him. The clock's ticking. Daylight's burning. We gotta go. We got the wind in our face. The bull's in the creek bottom right here up the bottom of the valley. I hope the wind doesn't swirl. I'm gonna try and get in tight. I want to get in real tight. I'm ready to go. I'm on 4.5. That's the lowest. This one's on 3 now because it's gonna be close. I want to make sure we got wide field of view. All right, guys, this is gonna be fast. Everybody, like game faces.
We had the wind in our favor and plenty of cover, and I just felt like we needed to go for it and get as close as possible.
70 yards. Move up on him. See how close we can get. We have to sneak through here. He's just right over here. He's done, he's done. Let him go, he'll lay down, he'll stop. He'll stop. Yeah, baby.
still going.
Yeah, I see the brushes moving. I shot him. Yeah.
Go with it.
I'll get him with the muzzleloader. He won't go anywhere. He's right in there. Hit him right in the vitals. Let's move up there. Let's see if we can find him. I think I just saw the bushes wiggle where he went down. We'll know more in a minute.
The big bull was hit behind the shoulder, and I knew that the 405 grain power belt bullet would do its job. But the big bull was tough, and he went further into the heavy cover of the alders than I thought he would. And with little to no blood, we started making circles, very carefully.
He's got hooks. He weighs a lot. And right now he's madder than hell. If he's not dead. If he's a-coming, we'll let him have it. Look at all this dead salmon. They had a massive salmon run this year, incredibly large salmon run.
Danger element we could have here if he comes bonsaiing out of the bush here.
If he comes out of the bush, I'm definitely shooting, and hopefully he doesn't get me. I don't want to. Looks like something's brushed through here recently because you see all this stuff knocked over.
This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Tribe One Outdoors and their innovative products. If you'd like to book your own guided big game hunting adventure, give my office a call. I will personally take your calls, answer your questions, and help you book the hunting or fishing trip of a lifetime.
After making an intense stalk on a lone bull, Steve has shot a massive bison, and they're carefully looking for him in the heavy alder brush.
The big bull didn't bleed much, and he disappeared into the heavy cover of the alders. I can't emphasize enough how dangerous it is to go after a wounded bison in cover like that, because if he charged, we'd have little to no time to get a shot off. But after an hour of searching, we found the massive bull.
We got him!
Woo! Yeah! Nice job.
Right in the lungs.
This is the one time Steve looks small.
Nice. Wow. Big bull.
Big one, man.
Yeah.
Wow. What a hunt. Thanks, guys, for pushing me a little further. Everybody needs a bump every now and then. I got my bump. You guys gave me a great bump, kicked me right in the butt and told me to get it done. Let's do this. Let's go one more day. Let's get it done. This animal is huge. The one Tom shot the other day was mature, beautiful bull, part of a herd. He's a mature breeding age animal. This is an old, solitary, lone bull, all by himself. Probably past his prime breeding age. The rest of the team's up on the mountain about 3 miles from here or out on the boat. We don't know where they're at. We left them 3 hours ago. They backed off and let us make our hunt. What a hunt it was. I'll remember that one forever.
Make no mistake, the challenges are not over, and we also know what science and common sense say is practical. Others, however, have a different viewpoint on the future of wildlife, questioning such things as, should we still graze cattle on public land? Divert water to irrigate dryland crops? Reinstate alpha predators like wolves and grizzlies? And once reestablished, how to manage them on shared landscapes with man. The truth is, we as sportsmen should advocate for all wildlife, not just those we can hunt. Those who want bison, wolves, and grizzlies back in their historic ranges are not paying attention to history. As Theodore Roosevelt once said, wildlife and their habitats cannot speak, so we must and we will.
We're going to recover the buffalo. Today is Buffalo Day.
Well, last night we got a massive buffalo. It was a phenomenal hunt. I dreamed about it all night, but we couldn't get him out before it got dark. We just ran out of time. So we got him dressed out, propped open, cooling out real nice. The guys decided we'd come back today with a four-wheeler on the skiff and run the four-wheeler in there to pack it out. This is gonna make for a creative retrieval. I don't even know how we're gonna offload the four-wheeler onto the beach. They've got some ramps. I think this is something they've done before, but it's gonna be interesting. Get everybody else. Bring them in, we'll butcher this bison up.
The entire team returned to pack out the bison. After carefully butchering it for the community elders, they used a four-wheeler to haul the meat back down to the beach where the heavy quarters were placed in the skiff for the ride back to Sandpoint.
Well, phenomenal hunt. I mean, this is some big wild country. We gotta get the meat back out to the boat, load the four-wheeler back on the skiff, make our way around the outside of the island.
With the mission accomplished, we headed back to town. And on the way, my good friend Jeremy Davis flew over in his Super Cub, and he gave us the thumbs up on a hunt well done. I reflect on the hunt, the highs and the lows. This was a bison hunt like no other, in a place where bison roam this island, forever protected by a conservation plan that will ensure their population is there for many generations to come.